I just zipped everything and sent it to the Tuesday, Thursday.
Oh, okay. Okay, everyone ready for what's next?
No, do it anyway.
No, but do it anyway. Okay, I like that answer. So next, we're going to be learning about put and delete, the other two HTTP methods, which are sort of less used, but still somewhat important. I mean, although realistically, most of your applications won't use these, most times you'll want to use post even when you're deleting things or adding new rows to your database. But we can do it this way as well. It just depends on the architecture of your server. So that is why we're learning to do things this way. So you'll see here we have an application that is a day planner, very much the same as the last two. It just has a table with one item in it. You're adding that one item to your table. With this one, though, let's take a look at the SQL code. We're going to make a new database called DayPlannerDB. We're going to make a new table called plans. It's just going to have an ID and then a plan. And the primary key is going to be ID, and then we're going to insert one new plan. We're going to plan to fight a ninja. Everyone see how that works? Okay. What?
Just kidding.
Okay.
She needs a burger.
All right. Well, we'll get you burgers and beers afterwards.
Yes.
Okay. Do you guys want to see me run this one, or can you just take my word that it's going to be just like the others?
Run
Run
it.
it? Okay. Okay.
I don't trust you.
Okay, you guys don't trust me. We're going to run it. I know, but we're going to run it anyway.
I mean, we're spending 10 grand for this thing. We want to see something.
Okay, since you put it that way. Yes, but I don't get the 10 grand. I don't. If I had 10 grand from each of you, I would definitely code some SQL. Yeah, I should just open up my own boot camp.
In 2 years. Your contract says.
Yeah, that's true. I have to wait 2 years.
Yeah,
No, we can't. Yeah, we signed a non-compete. Yeah, so anything I figure out about teaching full stack web development now belongs to Trilogy. Anything. Yeah. Yeah.
Not all companies have
There is a lot of competition in this field.
Yeah, like when I went to the job fair, the tech job fair, there was like 5 different positions.
Yeah, I think this is actually a pretty good one, and it's good that it's a real university too. That's important.
Actually, that's why I chose this one.
Yeah, I think that's important. That's a good decision.
I was like, I don't know how legit the other ones are, but UM approved putting their logo on this one.
Right.
Yeah, that was the main selling point for me too. I was like, I'm going to enjoy it, so that's okay. You're going to put University of Miami's.
Thank you. Okay, everyone see how the day planner works? We can create a plan. What do we plan to do today? Eat a burger. Eat a burger. Drink a beer. Are you really gonna go horseback riding after burgers and beer? Is that
That's the best time to go horseback.
really? Okay. You guys need to go to a ranch in Texas or something.
Those are regular HTML forms.
Yeah, regular HTML forms, no jQuery or anything like that. So then we also have the option to update our plans. Like if we want to update a plan, we can say eat a burger, exclamation point. Okay, and now we see exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Such a dad joke.
So now you guys have the option to review this application with your partners. It's exactly the same as the others. Or we could go on to our next exercise, which is also exactly the same as the others. Next exercise? Okay.
I don't know. My head is crazy.
It does. You guys want to go home early? Well, does like a critical portion want to go home early? Because this next exercise, well, let's just look at the next exercise. This one. That's not till Saturday. That we learn about the ORMs, object relational mappers, the thing that writes the SQL code for you. Or that might even be another week. That's not this class, though.
We're split.
I don't know. I have to ask Siobhan. She hasn't gotten back to me or told me anything. So I have to find out. Do what?
It's right. I'll show you, Maddie.
That'll be an
Wait, what does it have to do? Switch from one to the other?
Think of it, Maddie, you can think of it this way, just to boost the columns, you put one variable in one column, one in the other, and then when you're changing it, just change it to the one on the next column.
Okay. See ya. Okay, so this one is the same as the last ones, but we also have the option to use the app.put method. You guys all see how this works? Yeah, so we're using, instead of just app.get and app.post, we can also use app.put and app.delete. So we can give it the idea of a movie, and then we can delete it from our database by running this query to delete. Everyone see how this works? Good night. So it's basically exactly the same as the others, only we have the option to delete, and we can use the HTTP method. That way we are being standards compliant and building things along the REST protocol. This way our app is REST compliant because we're using the HTTP methods that match what we're doing in the database. We don't have to do it this way, but this makes it REST compliant, which is useful for certain things. You guys get it? It makes sense? Yeah, you'll have this code tonight. It's basically exactly the same as the example we just did, only you're using the put method instead to update the database. So we're using insert instead of update, and we're using put to update. In the last example, we were using insert to add a new record. Here we're using the put method with update to update things. Then in our form, where we have that form, for which movie we want to update, let's take a look at what that looks like. So first we have our form to add a new movie. That's just the same as what we did in the last example. For the form to update, we have something a little bit different. We're going to make a select box. Let me see how they're doing this. So this is for delete movie. Where is that select box with all the movie names? There was input type text ID placeholder. Sorry. The select box that was here. So when it says update a movie.
I think that's the date one. You're looking at the movie one.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Good catch. So this just updates the name of a movie. So So here we're using jQuery to submit the forms too. You guys all see that?
Yeah.
So we're going to use type post. So this way it doesn't actually load the form. It only reloads the form after we post our data. So we post our data over Ajax and then we reload the form. Same thing here.
In the handlebars, the index of handlebars.
What's that?
The jQuery.
Yeah, it's in the handlebars code because we haven't, well, we did learn to do the public files with the JavaScript folder, but for some reason they're not doing it that way in this example. So the way you would typically want to do this is you have your public folder and inside of there you have your JavaScript folder, and then you use that one line that I sent to you guys to make the public folder public and static accessible. Use app.getStatic. No, it's just when you're using Express. You don't always want to put all your JavaScript and all your CSS in the one HTML file. You'll usually want to link to it and have it just served as a static file, whether it's local or Heroku or whatever. So that's what that's for, the static files thing. So you guys all see how we're updating our database. We are deleting things from our database. You guys see how we're listening for the submit event on the forums? That's another kind of gotcha. In previous examples, you hadn't been listening for the submit event when you submit forms. You had just been listening for the submit button click event. This is a slightly better way to do it because even when you hit enter, it still submits the form and then it still catches this event. You use event.prevent default to stop it from actually submitting the form. Yeah, Sam?
jQuery selector, is that referring to the form or to the button?
This add movie.
Yeah.
That's the name of the form, and we can see that up here. This is the add movie form. Okay, before we lose anybody else, you guys want to just go a little earlier? Keep reviewing this one? Sure.
Why did this one end up using the maybe initially learned with the Ajax get methods as opposed to the MySQL lines?
Oh my goodness.
Why didn't we just create the create, write, update, delete? So these are similar. So the HTTP request methods kind of match the way the create, write, update, delete works. So that's what REST kind of does, is it maps the different methods of HTTP to the different methods to update a database with create, write, update, delete. So put and delete as well as patch. Patch, to answer your question, Dan, is when you have only like one or two pieces of information to update within a record, but you don't want to update all of the pieces of information. So that's what patch does. Yeah, so I actually had to do some Googling for that. So this is meant to augment the create, write, update, delete, Melvin, or it's meant to be sort of like a wrapper around the create, write, update, delete, so you can use the HTTP methods and they'll map to the right database method, which you're doing on the back end, which is sort of black box to the people who connect to your site. They don't see exactly what you're doing with the database, but making your web application work with the right HTTP methods like put, delete, etc., makes it more sort of transparent to them, which is why it's a standard. If you're going to make your web app publicly accessible as an API endpoint. If you don't plan on doing that, then there's no real reason to use the REST architecture. Does that make sense, everyone? Yeah, sure. So in this example, we are using the delete and put. So you just do, when you want to do a put, you do app.put. That says when there's an HTTP connection coming with the HTTP methods, you set to app.put, then we're going to respond to it in this way. We parameterize the ID. So you're going to do /movies, then the ID of that movie. If this request comes in and the HTTP method type is delete, then it's going to go ahead and run this query to delete the movie. Or rather here, if it comes in, the HTTP method is delete, then it's going to go ahead and run this query to delete the movie where the ID matches the ID that's being passed in.
And then else if line 95 result affected.
So this is if it can't find the right row to delete. Like say I say delete movie ID 1234 and there is no movie ID 1234. It either has already been deleted or it hasn't been created yet. Then it's going to give us back a 404 response and say, hey, I couldn't find that thing to delete. Wasn't there. Make sense? Okay, so I think you guys get this, and keep practicing in the homework, keep reviewing stuff. It will start to make sense. Questions, Pedro? Questions? Does it make sense? Okay, Mike, you good? Everyone good? Give yourselves a hand, guys. We'll leave 5 minutes over. See ya. Same boot camp time, same boot camp channel.